Assalamualaikum and a very good day. I greet you for Hana Amin. My name is Nur Arisha and I am from Bestari, SNK Abdul Rahman Ali. Today I will be presenting on the Archimedes principle. First and foremost, I would like to say welcome, and today we will learn about one of the applications of the Archimedes principle, which is the Plimsoll line. So before I proceed with the Plimsoll line, I will first explain to you on how the ship float on the surface of the sea. We all know that the weight of the ship is very heavy, but it is still able to float on the surface of the sea. This is because, due to the Archimedes principle, when an object is floating on the surface of a liquid, the buoyant force that is acting on it is equal to the weight of the object. So in this situation, the buoyant force that is acting on the ship is equal to the weight of the ship. So this means that the buoyant force that is acting on the ship is large enough because the ship is hollow and the volume of water that is displaced by the ship is sufficiently large for it to be able to float on the surface of the sea. This also means that both the buoyant force and the weight of the ship is very large because the weight of the ship is large. This is in accordance to the buoyant force formula, which is equal to the density times volume times gravitational acceleration. So density of seawater will vary according to its location and also season. As an example, when a ship is floating on the seawater in a colder season, the density of the seawater will be much more compared to in hotter season, in which the density of the water will be less. To ensure that a ship is loaded within its safe limits so that the sink does not sink into the seawater, the Plimsoll line will be marked on a body of a ship and it acts as a guide. So what is a Plimsoll line? A Plimsoll line is a reference mark that is located on a ship's hull, as you can see in the diagram, and this line indicates the maximum depth to which a vessel may be safely immersed when it is loaded with heavy cargo. This means that the Plimsoll line is actually a safety mark to make sure that the ship does not exceed the maximum depth that can result in the ship sinking. So how do we read a Plimsoll line? As you can see in the diagram, the Plimsoll line is marked with alphabets. These alphabets actually indicates the type of the seawater that the ship is floating on. The first one is tropical freshwater, marked with TF, and the next one below it is freshwater, marked with an F. The next one on the right side is tropical zone seawater, marked with a T, and we have summer seawater marked with an S, winter seawater marked with a W, and the last one is the winter North Atlantic, marked with W and A. And besides it is a circle with a line in the middle of it, marked with alphabets A and B. These lines indicates the American Bureau of Shipping line, and it's on the same line as the summer seawater. And when the Plimsoll line moves downwards, the temperature of the seawater decreases because tropical freshwater is the hottest seawater of all of this, and as it moves downwards, the temperature of the seawater increases until winter North Atlantic, which is the coldest seawater. So besides indicating the type of the seawater, this Plimsoll line also indicates the density, the buoyancy, and the load of the ship. When it is marked with a higher mark, such as TF, F, and T, it means that the ship is floating on a less dense seawater. And when it is floating deeper and marked with much lower Plimsoll lines, it means that the ship is floating on a high density seawater. Besides that, when the ship is marked with a higher mark, it means that the buoyant force that is acting on it is smaller compared to when it is marked with the lower marks. And the higher marks also indicates that the ship is carrying less loads compared to when it is compared with is marked with the lower mark, which means that it is carrying high loads and means that it is heavier. And that is all from me. And I dedicate this for Ponohana as an appreciation for her guidance. And thank you very much for listening.